Hi again, guys. If I saw you earlier, welcome back. If you're new, if you're watching, also welcome. I've noticed there's already some dialogue going on in the chat box, but today's class is going to be a reading session. So this session, we're going to read an article entitled "Why the Germans Are Farsighted, Italians Impatient, and French Depressive." Okay, so this is a survey they did, an economic survey. Some research they carried out, and we're going to talk about this. It's very controversial, so we're going to see, hopefully there's some people from these countries. We're going to talk about national stereotypes and things like that, but not in so much detail. But yeah, this should be interesting. We'll see if it's there's some truth in this, or if it's just a bit far-fetched. But in the Verbling chat box, we can see Sam there. Okay, TH sound, the or three. Sam, could you elaborate basically what you're talking about, Sam? What you're talking about? Okay, when to pronounce it and when to not. In American English, you won't have trouble with the R, but with the D's and T's. Okay, so you're talking about the difference in pronouncing British English and American English. We'll talk about that when you join, yeah, if you're joining us, Sam. Okay, so we'll see who can join. In the meantime, I'm going to send you the article that I'm referring to. We're going to read this, learn new words, and discuss the topic. Like I said, it is quite controversial, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so Sam, hopefully you can join us, and then you can ask these questions, because there is differences in the way they are pronounced. Yeah, so feel free to join us and ask in a minute. How long do we have to wait? Not too long now, I guess. Yeah, so it's okay. Okay, so all of you, could you please, those who are attending, those who are participating in the class, open the article. Those who can't participate or don't want to participate, I don't know why you wouldn't, but you can still contribute to the chat box, okay? We'll answer all your questions, as many of your questions as possible, okay? So everyone is included. We have Dway in the Verbling Hangout. Hello, Dway.
Hello.
Perfect. Nice to speak with you. Where are you from?
I'm from Colombia.
We have spoken. Yeah, I remember. Okay, so Dway from Colombia. Yeah, I remember. You were in my class a couple of days ago, I think. Yeah. Not yesterday, but a couple of days ago. Okay, and we have also, who's this? One sec. We have Gianni.
Hi. How are you?
Nice to meet you, Gianni.
Gianni, it's Gianni.
Gianni, okay. Are you by chance Italian?
Yes, I'm Italian.
Perfect. Okay, so you have the right. We're going to read this this article today. I don't know if you saw it. It's a bit controversial, so we'll see. And okay, nice to meet you, Gianni. How are you?
Nice to meet you. I'm fine. I'm with my friend Federica.
Hi.
Hi. Nice to meet you. And
nice to meet you, Martin.
What's your name again?
Federica.
Federica. Cool. Yeah. Okay, we have two. Efficient. Okay, so Gianni from Italy. We also have Peter from Germany. Peter, how are you?
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, so we're going to read the discussion. It's comparing nationalities and things like that. Okay, so it's good that we've got a German, some Italians. Have we got any French people in the chat, by any chance? Okay, in that case, we've got Haroon. Haroon, nice to speak with you.
Hello, Martin. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good, thanks. And how are you? You're okay?
I'm okay. I'm doing okay. I'm from Turkey.
Okay, we've got Haroon from Turkey. And have we got anyone else from Turkey? Okay, we've got Julio or Julio. How do I say your name?
Julio.
Julio, cool. And where are you from?
I'm from Timor-Leste.
Where, sorry?
Timor-Leste.
Could you write this down?
It's in South Asia.
Oh, South Asia.
I just write it down. Yes.
No worries. Cool.
It's new country and new island.
Let's have a look at this. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so it's a new country. How old is the country?
10 years we got independence.
Wow. Okay, so it's really old. Okay, so I'm gonna have a look at this quickly. That's interesting. Okay, so which language do you speak there? Do you have a new language? Have you developed a new language?
We have our official language. We choose Portuguese is our official language, and then Tetun is our national language. The reason we choose Portuguese is our official language because we were colonized by Portuguese during 450 years. So that's why our government chose to choose Portuguese to be our official language.
Wow. Okay. And I'm just reading quickly. 1 million people. Okay, that's more interesting. Yeah. So that's interesting. Okay, that's cool. Okay. Nice to meet you. Anyway, Julio, nice to meet you.
Nice
Sam,
to
we
meet
have
you.
cool. Sam, we have you back. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Cool. Nice to speak with you again.
After this class,
Cool. Did you say you fell asleep, or you will fall asleep?
both.
Both. Are you a bit tired? Yes. You've had a long day, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. No worries. Okay. So Tuyet.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Yes.
I recognize your surname, okay? Have we spoken before, or is this the first time we've spoken?
I think the first time I joined your class.
Okay, perfect. I
It's the
recognize
first
your
time.
surname from somewhere, yeah? But anyway, okay,
Yeah.
great to meet
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, because
Nice to-
Nguyen is a popular surname, the most popular surname in Vietnam. So
So it's like Smith, yeah? So it's like Smith. So the popular
Yeah.
surnames in the UK are like Smith and Jones and things like that, yeah? So, okay, that's interesting. Anyone else who I haven't spoken to? Atya. Are you there, Atya? Okay, we'll come back to you. And Hazel joined.
Hello.
Nice to speak with you, Hazel. We've spoken before, haven't we?
I don't think so, only on the chat box.
Ah, okay. So it's okay, yeah, because I recognise your name. I feel like we've communicated a long time, but maybe just on the chat box.
Yes.
Where are you from, Hazel?
From Romania.
In fact, maybe I've spoken to you once. Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't remember. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, that's interesting. Okay. So, today I don't know if anyone saw the article in advance. Okay. But this is entitled "Why the Germans Are Farsighted, Italians Impatient, and French Depressive." So it's a controversial topic, but I thought it was quite interesting, and I wanted to ask you guys, especially people that come from these countries, if it's true, yeah, or if it's just some kind of stereotype. Okay, so we're going to read this article, get an understanding before we make an opinion, then we're going to discuss. Okay, so it's quite a interesting article, shall we say? But who would like to make us start reading first of all? Was that who's that?
I can.
So I think
No.
Harren, I
Okay.
think you put your hand up first. Yeah, do you want to? Go?
Yeah, this is the class, and I hold my finger up.
No worries. Okay, so you'd like to read first, yeah? Then Hazel can read
Okay.
afterwards if you like.
Okay, let
Okay, I'll
me
share my
read.
screen as well. I'll share my screen.
Okay. I'm starting. Two separate
please.
papers presented to the Royal Economic Society's annual conference appear to suggest that long-standing stereotypes about different nationalities could have some basis in fact. They even claim that the findings could help explain the different economic fortunes of different parts of Eurozone.
Okay, let's stop. Was that understandable for everyone so far? So, a paper. What is a paper in this context? Russell has
Newspaper.
joined.
Newspaper.
I think that is two sides, or one side and another side.
Sorry.
Newspapers are
Two sides of the paper. Okay, we're talking here academic papers, yeah? So research in this context. So a paper can be a newspaper or can be an academic paper. So they've studied this, they've researched this. Yeah, so in this context, what was it? So two separate papers, as in it wasn't just one bit of research, two separate institutions, universities, whatever, researched into this topic. They presented it to this society. What's another way of saying society in this context?
I think that papers in this case is two opinions.
Yeah, so two separate papers, two different institutions did this research and presented both of these papers to the Royal Economic Society, which is an organization, I guess, which is about
Association
economics.
or organization?
Did you say association or organization, did you say?
Yeah, I said.
Okay, yeah, so it's like an organization or association of these people specializing in economics, yeah? So like an economical organization. Russell has joined us. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. What about you?
I'm good, yeah? You sound very chilled out as normally, yeah, as normal. So I asked you like, yeah, everything's, yeah. Okay, so, cool. Russell, did you follow what we were talking about so far?
I have just joined and I'm trying to open that document.
Okay, no worries, no worries. So we'll continue talking then, hopefully you can get an understanding. Okay, so, Wade, did you understand so far what the point of the article is?
Excuse me?
Wade, did you understand so far?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So if you have particular questions, just ask. Otherwise, I'll go over the words. Annual conference. So annual conference.
Every year.
Perfect. Appear to suggest. Yeah. So appear to, not just suggest, but appear to suggest.
Looks like.
Yeah. Maybe it's not completely linking to these long-standing stereotypes, according to this article.
Seems like that.
Seems that way. Seems that way. Appears. Seems that way. Long-standing. What does that mean?
Very old.
Yeah. So old-fashioned. Long-standing. Yeah. We'll do a quick checkup. Hazel, is everything okay? In fact,
Yes,
that was you, wasn't
yes.
it? Julio, are you understanding? Julio? Okay, we'll come back. Gianni, was that okay so far?
Yes?
Yeah.
And friend. Sorry, I'll write the friend down because I'll forget. What's the name, sorry? Of your friend?
Federica.
Frederica, yeah?
Frederica, yeah.
Federica, cool. Okay, so I'll go back to the text, see if there's any more words, but I think the rest maybe is okay. And a stereotype. What is a stereotype?
Like a cliche.
Some common opinion about one nation or what about one nation.
Yeah, all British people have yellow teeth and have tea at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, so
and drink tea.
And drink tea all the time. And yeah, okay, that's, for example, British stereotype. There are loads of stereotypes about British people, and I want to hear them afterwards, okay? So we're going to read this, discuss this, but I also want to hear about stereotypes that you have, maybe, or that you've heard about your own countries, and also about the UK, and maybe America. Okay, so about different nationalities could have some basis in fact. What does that mean?
There is real things on this stereotype.
It could be real, yeah. So basically these stereotypes maybe have arisen from somewhere. Okay, the British stereotype about drinking tea at 4 o'clock and eating cucumber sandwiches came about because we used to do that. High society used to do that, yeah. So they're saying that it could be come from something. It's not just made up, yeah. Okay, so let's. Okay, and someone already read this actually. They even claim something.
To pretend. To ask.
Not necessarily.
They assert that they put something on to the people, but it is not the truth.
Yeah, so they state their opinion that, yeah. So okay, so they claim that they say actually this could be why certain countries are faring differently in Europe, yeah. So how with the economy and things like that, yeah. So they're saying there could be some link. Okay, according to this article. We're going to discuss this in a minute. I'm just trying to explain what the article is saying, yeah? Okay, so the findings. We had this word several times in a reading session. Does everyone know what this means?
The discoveries.
The
results.
results. Yes, more specifically, Peter.
Of
yeah,
the study.
The findings, the results. could help explain the differing economic fortunes. Differing. What does this mean?
Changing.
Changing with one to each other, to other.
Differing. Yeah, so different. Basically,
Different.
yeah,
Differing is different. This comes from the words different.
yeah, but it's a process. So, for example,
It
technically,
means that
yeah,
It means every zone has different economics.
Disagreement here?
it's basically differing. Is kind of it's got a process attached to it. So, for example, Eurozone is one thing, you're one organization, but everything's is differing. Yeah, so it's changing a little bit. Yeah, so it's differing, meaning in one part, although we're one unit, people who live in the Eurozone, the structure is changing a little bit. Yeah, so things in one part of the Eurozone it's one thing. Next part is something else because of economics. Yeah, so it's differing. It's kind of changing. It's becoming different. Yeah, because for example, Germany is the leader. Well, it's the head at the moment of the Eurozone economy. So that's the main country. Yet you've got some countries, Greece and etc., who are not. Yeah, so that's what it means. Differing economic fortunes. The fortunes are different. There's some doing well, some doing badly. Yeah. Okay, so who would like to read the next bit, please?
I want to read.
Who was that? Sorry. Who said so? There was two.
Just two.
Who said? Was it
the two?
Oh, wait. Okay, yes, please.
Yes, the two. The second and the third paragraph. The third and fourth.
In one, yeah, from in
one.
In one.
In one to oh yes, of course. Let me
just read it.
Let me see. Yes. In one, researchers compare Italian and German speaking children from the same town and conclude that the latter had a more patient and far-sighted temperament.
Okay, in the next one. Okay, so we'll explain this first actually. Researchers, I guess that's quite clear, yeah? The researcher is the person who did the research, yeah?
Excuse me?
Was that clear, yeah? So, was that clear, that paragraph, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so basically they did what? Could someone explain? We'll get... who should we get to explain? Sam, could you explain in other words?
I don't know. It's like they made an experiment to see the reactions and behavior of German and Italian speaking children, and
found that Germans have far-sighted temperament and
But don't say
patient.
far-sighted temperament, translate it, yes, into other words. What does far-sighted mean?
Good temperament.
Not necessarily good, but a different temperament, yeah? So, as in, you can't say good, bad, or whatever, but a far-sighted temperament means what, Peter?
Farsighted mean looking into the future and
Far-sighted.
Farsighted temperament.
Far-sighted temperament.
Somehow.
Temperament is like behavior, yeah? So it's saying that basically the children, the German-speaking children, thought more in the future than the Italian-speaking.
Yeah, planning, I think is a good word. No?
Planning, yeah? So
Yeah, planning,
basically,
yeah.
but it's not saying good or bad, it's just saying different, yeah?
They are planning more into the future. I think
So that's what they were saying. Okay, so let's discuss this very quickly. Now we haven't read much more than this. Gianni.
I think there's already a discussion going on about stereotypes.
Okay, so Gianni, okay, So now you've read this.
There's a lot of background noise from Julio, I think.
Must be the town with Italians and Germans.
Okay, so
Stereotype.
just go mute you quickly, Julia. Okay, so Gianni. Okay,
Yeah.
what did you understand from this, and what is your opinion so far?
We are Italian, so we are a bit, I don't know. It's true that Italians are impatient and that we are always in a hurry, so I think that maybe it could be true.
Okay, so ultimately we're not saying good, bad, yeah, because you could argue, okay, on the one hand it's good that according to this article the Germans plan, on the other hand it could be, okay, if you plan too much there's not flexibility there, yeah, so it's not saying that one thing is good, one thing is bad, it's just saying a comparison, yeah, so so you shouldn't feel like, oh yeah, they're saying this about us, or
no,
they're
but we
saying
are
that
Italian,
about them.
so we always feel like that.
Okay.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, I think the article and the piece of research could be true.
But argue your case as well. The point is we're debating. So argue your case as well if you disagree. Yeah, don't feel, okay, you should just say yes, yes, yes. Argue your point, okay? Just because it makes it more interesting. Gianni, what do you say?
Johnny, what do you say?
I think that yes, we have many stereotypes, but one that is true that we are open-minded, and
yeah, but they think that German people are more open-minded than us.
Mm-hmm.
They
not
are saying
open-minded.
No, not open-minded.
Not open-minded. Farsighted means just planning. Yeah, it doesn't mean open-minded. It means Germans, they're saying are very planners, yeah? Maybe rigid with planning. Yeah, so what would you say to this? Yeah, so what would you say?
Actually, we know some German people, right?
Yes.
And I think, yes, that comparing to us, they are always planning things and they have a planning mind. But on the other hand, we are always, I don't know, running and we organize things at the last time and stuff like that.
And of course, it's not about everyone, yes? So it's not about saying all Germans this, all Italians this. It's, so you're saying that from what you've experienced, you found that your German friends, for example, plan more. Okay, Peter, what do you say to this, actually? What's your opinion as a German?
Well, maybe there's some truth in that Germans are planning a bit more and Italians might be a bit more spontaneous, yeah.
Yeah, so
I think that could be true in general. No? But
okay, so
I would really like to know a bit more about that strange town. Is it
where is it?
Germany with Italians and German, or in Italy with Italians and Germans?
Because the thing is, if it's in Germany, for example, maybe Italians go to a German school and they're just treated the same way. In Italy, it could be the same. Yeah. So I don't know if there's some kind of mixed town somewhere. I don't know. Okay, let's read on further. Does anyone else? I asked the Italians and Germans this question, but does anyone else have an opinion on it? Okay, we'll go on, I think, yeah? So we'll go on a bit more and we'll see. Okay, so who would like to read next? Oh, Hazel, I said to you you could read next, but sorry, someone else read in front because I forgot.
No problem.
Yes.
In the other an economics professor from the Sorbonne grappled with why national happiness surveys regularly find the French people are less content than their counterparts in poverty-stricken and war-torn countries. She concluded that the much-praised French educational system had produced a pessimistic national mentality.
Okay, let's stop. Professor, I think it's quite clear. I hear some background noise.
Yes, it's awful from
maybe Julia. I'll just try some people
I
first.
think it's Julio.
Okay, so Julia, I've just unmuted you. When you want to speak, just feel free to unmute yourself. Okay, it's just causing some background noise. Okay.
Okay.
No, yeah, it's okay, it's okay.
Okay, cool. Okay, so Grappled with why. So what does it mean? In fact, to be honest, I understand it, but I don't know how I could explain this. So grappled with why.
I didn't understand this paragraph.
You didn't understand, yeah?
Yeah.
Did anyone else understand or not
Grapple,
understand?
deal.
Deal with. Grappled with. Dealt with, yeah? Kind of.
Sorbonne grappled with. Yeah. I don't know.
Cope with, deal with, something like that.
Dealt with, kind of like considered, yeah? I guess
Yes.
considered. Something like that, but it's difficult to explain. Grapple with why national happiness surveys regularly find that French people are less content than their counterparts. What does it mean to be content?
Happy.
Happy, yes, with themselves.
Satisfied.
Okay, so to be content meaning not happy with themselves,
what you
regardless
have.
of the achievements, yeah? Regardless
Yes.
of the achievements. Yeah, not satisfied meaning, yeah? So to be content is to be, to mean to be satisfied. Okay, so grapple with why happiness surveys regularly find that French people are less content than their counterparts. What is the counterpart?
The other part.
They're opposite. The
Opposite part.
Yeah, the counterparts in poverty-stricken, meaning,
Very poor.
and war-torn countries. So countries which are suffering from poverty and war, they find that even French people who are not in a poverty-stricken or war-torn countries, actually, they are less content than the people in these countries, according to this research. Okay, so again, this is this is general. This is a lot of stereotypes and things like this. What do you think, first of all, to this? Yeah, Dwayne, do you trust this research? Do you think this research sounds plausible?
I think that I really don't know, but I think that it is a research, and they have how to prove it. I think that maybe it's real because I really don't know so much about those three countries, and I can tell if that is true or not is true.
Okay, yeah. So because of the insight again, yeah, I'm not from any of these countries as well, yeah. But so Hazel, what would you say to this?
Actually, I traveled through Italy about 2 weeks and 2 weeks about France, and I think it's stereotypes. Sometimes are true. Italians are, as they say here, temperamental and impatient, and Germans are very calculated. Oh, we don't speak about French. Yes. Now I confused. I'm confused.
No worries. Okay, so you're saying actually
Italian.
we have stereotypes for a reason, yeah? Or rightly or wrongly, it's not that someone just thinks, okay, we'll just say this about British people, we'll say this about Scottish people, or whatever.
Yes.
They come from somewhere, you're saying.
Yes, and not necessarily, as you said, some stereotypes are bad or good. Some characteristics, being temperamental or being calculated, it's not always bad or good.
Okay. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, so it's two sides. You could say, okay, on the one hand, yeah, they're saying, okay, maybe the Italians don't plan so much. That could be a bad thing because they're not playing, or that could be a good thing because it means they're more spontaneous, more interesting, on the spot kind of thing. Yeah?
Exactly.
So the point, guys, for the record, we're not prejudicing. Yeah, we're not saying one country's this, one country's that. We're just merely talking about it and seeing if it's actually true, because we are all different. We're from different countries, and society does make us different. Yeah. So, but that's all we're talking about. So, Julia, what would you say to this?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know really about the France. I even never been there, and then I don't have experience about this kind of things. But what I say for these statements, because this is the researchers say that they prove something that like they're writing their like poverty, something it's like war or countries, but they prove something with the they make a comparison between the education system, and then they produce more pessimistic people, and they provide a good mentality for the person in this country maybe, but I don't know because I don't have any experience about this country things, right? So maybe that's all.
Peter, what do you say? Yeah, so far what you've heard, any opinions?
Poor French, yeah. That's all I can say. I didn't know that the French suffer so much. But I think about that study, I mean, you don't really have to compare different countries. I mean, if you look at one country, for example, compare northern Italy and southern Italy.
Yeah.
There's already a big difference.
Northern England,
and there might also already be stereotypes. No, or southern and northern Germany, the people are very much different already in
Devon
one
and
country,
Cornwall
not
even,
different countries. No?
So Devon and Cornwall, there's so it doesn't have to. That's the point. Yeah. So that's the point. Do you think categorize people too much? Yeah. And yeah, and that's another issue. But okay, so Peter, but on the whole, would you say there could be some link? For example, they mentioned about the French education system. Do you think an education system really influences the personality or the character of a person?
Well, I don't really know a lot about the French educational system, but I know.
Sorry? I've lost you, Peter.
Oh, it's very restrictive in a way. That is what I heard about the French educational system. It have some link with the way the French feel. No, maybe, I don't know, because how you grow up, what they tell you, what to do, what not to do. So it comes down to culture. How you.
Okay, that's interesting. Rasa, what would you say? I heard you giggling a little bit.
Hello.
Hello, Russell.
Background noise.
Sorry. Yeah, there is.
Well, I don't know the ground realities, and so I am not in a position to conclude about this research, whether it is right or wrong.
Okay. Yeah, but do you think, for example, forget what the content, forget who it's talking about. Do you think what it's talking about is in the character of the people? You can generalize a country. You can generalize a country. Yeah. So is it right to say, okay, all all American people this, all British people this, all Chinese people are this? Yeah. So is it acceptable to do that?
No, I don't think so, because every country has different types of people, and I don't think so that we can think the whole people would be like same.
Yeah. Okay. So it's interesting. Sam, you were writing some things in the comment box. What do you think?
Well, I think when you categorize someone, that means that you don't know much about him. For example, well, you may don't know anything about the Latin people, for example, except the things that you see on TV, right? But when you have about 5 or 6 friends and you talk to them every day, you will know that everyone there is different, and you will realize that your categorization was wrong.
Yeah. So, yeah, for example, here I have some German friends who are completely not so good at planning. Have some who are very, very, So you can't. I guess you can't really say that, all. But I think we make generalizations about people, maybe just to understand them better. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. So not necessarily about people, but try to understand situations. I guess. Yeah. So we
even
all.
the stereotypes are different between from each from one country to another. I mean, for example, the stereotypes for you about the Frenchies are that they are sad and pessimists, but for us, we see the Frenchies that they are arrogant. This difference means that everyone looks at it from a different angle.
Okay. Yeah. So, and what do you think though of this research? Do you think this is valuable research? Meaning, do you think we can use this research, for example, to solve the EU crisis. Yeah. So by understanding, okay, the different mentalities, maybe, do you think this could be used for something good, useful, or do you think it's a waste of paper?
Well, we can say that it is a waste of paper. For example, if I see the last part we have read that it's talking about why the Frenchies are depressed, why are they pessimists, and they see that the reason is the educational system, which means that they found a reason for a problem. I mean, if you have entire people of a country sad and pessimist, then that is a real problem that needs to be solved. But stereotyping people, like just saying that this guy is nervous and don't touch him, he will be angry for you, that's wrong, of course.
Yeah. And in the future, will there even be national stereotypes? You know, because, for example, borders are breaking, communications happening, and maybe people are, you know, not different anymore because they're exposed to other ways of thinking and stuff. But yeah, okay. So, Tuyet, what would you say?
Sorry.
Tuyet, what would you say? Do you have any opinions to this?
Yeah. Sorry, I mute myself.
No worries. No worries.
Yeah. I think that the fighting is not reliable, just in my opinion. Yeah.
So you don't trust the fighting?
I don't think. Yeah. I don't think the German and the French people are less happier than other people who live in the war, though. You know. I don't think it's true that French people are less happier than Afghanistan people. Yeah.
Yeah, so it depends. Yeah? So, okay, and we've also got Nanu. Can you hear us, Nanu? Nanu?
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Perfect, cool. And where are you from?
I'm from Algeria.
Okay, great to meet you. Did you follow what we were talking about? No worries, no worries.
The pleasure is mine.
Okay, did you follow what we were talking about by any chance?
What? Please, could you repeat, please?
Yeah, sure. Did you manage to follow what we were discussing? Yeah, so I sent a link. I'll send the link again, and we're looking at an article, okay? And we're talking about if it could be true, and we're just discussing this.
The subjects, please. The subjects.
Okay, so, complicated, yeah. So we'll get who should we get to explain? Yeah. So Dwayne, could you explain briefly what we've been talking about?
Yes, we're talking about the research that is made in 3 countries: German, French, and Italian. It's about the characteristics of the people. According to the research, they say that Germans are farsighted, Italians are impatient, and French are depressive.
Which is kind of not so nice to say, yes? It's, you know, you want some other stereotype, not depressive, you know? Depressive sounds too bad. So,
melancholic.
Pessimistic.
Pessimistic, yeah, depressive sounds, you know, is a bit much.
Like
Not curable anymore.
Yeah, it's like, just give up, yeah, give up. Okay, so, yeah, that was basically what we were talking about, Nanu. Did you understand? Nanu, did you understand? Okay, we'll come back to you. Russell made a point in the chat box. I have only seen their football teams, and French commit less fouls than Germans and Italians. Russell, what does this tell you then?
It tells me that generally French are good people.
Yes, because they don't commit fouls. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, Alex is there. Hi, Alex too. I'm okay. How are you? Just write in the chat box. You're not in the chat, are you? You're not here. But anyway, good to you're here. Okay, so who else has come? I think that was all of you. Okay, let's read on and actually see what the hell it's talking about. Okay, so I'll talk about some words first that maybe are new to you. She concluded to come to a conclusion. What does this mean? To come to a conclusion. They concluded.
Come to the result.
What?
Oh.
Exactly. What?
To find the result of research.
They came to the conclusion that, right, basically they did the research, the jolly research, they had some, I don't know how they did this, but that's interesting. And then they looked at the research and they said, right, okay, we have done this, that means that. And they make a generalization based on their research, what they've carried out. And that's their conclusion. It summarizes, yeah? What they were talking about. It's just a summary of everything they researched. So their conclusion that the much praised, which means, Hazel, what does much praised mean?
It means that I know in Romanian, but I can't explain in other words in English now. Bragged.
No. Yeah, so almost. So much praised meaning, I don't know if this is true, but according to this, it's saying that
praised, evaluated, or
to hold high.
To hold high, yes, so it's held high.
Yes,
So
yes.
people say the French education system is very, very good. Is good. Yeah, whatever good means, you know, who knows what good means. But yeah, she concluded that the much praised is in the highly respected French education system had produced a pessimistic national mentality. Yeah, so from her research, she's saying that although the education system is very highly regarded, it's actually the students that come out of it are pessimistic. That's what it's saying, yes? So do you think it's true? So how big an influence did your education play on your character? So, Peter, what do you say? Did you learn to plan in a German school? Did you have planning
No,
classes?
not really. Because the German educational system is not really that good. And I think it's very similar. It used to be very similar to the French system. Maybe it's changed now because I'm out of school for a very long time. So I don't really know. But I think for your later life, it used to be not very good to actually teach you how to plan in advance and so on. I don't think you actually learn that in German schools.
Okay, but
it might be different nowadays.
But not learn directly. For example, to plan. So when you did homework, how organized were you, for example, doing your homework? Did you have to have some kind of diary, or did you have to hand in homework by a particular time? Yeah? Do you think not literally sitting down learning how to plan, but things that maybe influence the character later on, such as being punctual to class, and if you're not punctual, you get punished. Yeah, so you associate. You've got to be punctual. Yeah, so the things like that. Do you think?
That you learn at school, yeah, but that you also learn from your home, from your parents. No, so it depends really much where you live, and not the country you live in, but your home area. No, your friends and so on.
Okay, yeah. So you're the people surrounding you and stuff. I was just wondering, for example, like, would you be punished if you were not punctual?
Punish in what way?
Like, for example, if you arrived at school late, what did the teacher have done?
Well, they might tell you, and if you are never on time, well, I don't know what they would do.
So yeah, it depends. It depends. So I was just wondering if that's what the article was saying, that the education affects it in some way, if it's true. But you say, Peter, you're saying actually it's not based on just the education; it's just about the surroundings, how who.
Well,
who
it's
around you.
one point, but there are other influences from your home, your parents. That is a big influence, no? The surroundings you live in, no? Your neighbors, the neighborhood, all that, no? It's not just school.
Okay, so Sam, what would you say? So you were saying you made some comments. Not all research is reliable. The word research doesn't mean it's true. Yeah, okay, that's a part of it. Yeah, so there's a lot of very interesting research that comes out of the UK that is, you think, yeah. So what do you think then in that case, Sam? Yeah. So what would you say to this?
Well, maybe this research is not precise. Maybe. I mean, stereotyping people is not correct. I mean, if the entire country are pessimists and not satisfied with their life, that means there should be the highest rate of suicide, right?
Yeah.
But we don't hear that.
And the thing is, it could also, I don't know how biased the researcher is, yeah? So this researcher could have had a bad French boyfriend or something. Just think, right, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get you back, yeah? And could have maybe found the result they wanted to find, yeah? So there's this element of it as well, yeah? So we don't know how valid it is, but it's just an interesting talking point. That's all. We'll see. Who said Martin? Oh, I thought someone said Martin. Okay, Nanu. Did you understand what we were talking about?
Not exactly, I swear, because I have just arrived.
No problem. Okay, so we're talking about, there's an article, did I send it to you? I'll send it again, about stereotypes, essentially. So, stereotypes. What is a stereotype? Nanu.
To be honest, I haven't a clue. I don't know.
No problem. Okay, so a stereotype is, for example, saying all, even, for example, I hear this a lot. In the UK, it rains all the time, yeah? So in the UK, it rains, we eat really bad food, and we drink tea at 4 o'clock. Yeah, that's a stereotype you hear. For example, and in this article, it's saying, oh, the Germans are, very good at planning. Another stereotype about Germans is they're punctual, they're on time, yeah? It's a generalization about a nation, or about a country, or about a person from that country, yeah? In this context. It can be also about a specific group of people, like, oh, okay, saying boys are stronger than girls, yeah? That's also a stereotype.
Okay.
Yeah? Did you understand?
Yes, you can say that. I got the general idea about it.
Got the gist. Cool. So, do you think it's true then? Do you think, tell us about some stereotypes about, that you know of other countries, and also some stereotypes that you think are made against Algerian people.
What did you say? Why are they farsighted?
Okay, so Nanu, do you have any stereotypes, some famous stereotypes about, for example, Americans or British, or I don't know, yeah? So, do you understand?
Maybe if you give me an example, I swear I don't have any stereotypes.
Okay, so for example, a stereotype is that British people, in the UK the weather's bad. A stereotype about Americans is they all eat McDonald's and they're all fat. Yeah, so that's it's not necessarily true. It's just what people say. Yeah.
Yes, what people
Generally.
think, or yes.
Okay, so Nanu, can you give us some examples of some stereotypes that you know of?
Okay, let me think. Okay.
Maybe, okay, we're not that famous. I don't think the UK is that famous compared with America, but do you have any stereotypes about British people? Be completely honest, okay?
Oh yes, I have a good stereotype about British people.
Peter will give an example.
All British are queuing.
To be honest, it's partly true.
Stand in line.
Do you know,
Yes.
Queue.
No, I don't think so. I don't think the
Yes,
British
you have to
a
do
few-
that. Could be very dangerous if you don't stand in line.
Okay, so Peter, this is a stereotype. Is it true?
I think it's also true.
I think it's true.
It might
too.
be changing now, but at one time it was really true.
And
you may have a hard time as a tourist if you don't stand in line, waiting at a bus stop or so.
Just because you'll get the funny look from people, yeah. So this kind
very
of
funny looks, no?
This kind of like, yeah, like so you're not queuing, you know, this kind of thing. But yeah, this is a stereotype, for example. But I would say it's true, yeah. So we do like to queue, for anything, yeah. So form a nice orderly queue. It's a stereotype. It's not about everyone, yeah. So it's not saying every single British person.
So do you mean that it's a particular characteristics for some people, or yes?
But what you generally think, yeah, everyone is different. You know, there's
yes, of
white
course.
people, there's black people, and according to The Simpsons, there's yellow people, yeah. So you can't say categorize. You can't say yes, no. But generally, I would say British people like to queue. Yeah, not everyone, but generally.
In general, yes. For example, shall I give you an example, sir?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay. The Algerian, they say that the Algerian people are fan of football. They are a fan of football. They like football, especially their teams. So this
That's
is
a stereotype,
I guess.
Okay, all British people are football fans, yeah, and most of them, yeah, but not all, because that's a stereotype, yeah. So they like football. Things like that. So that's what we're talking about. So we're talking about stereotypes about other people, and also if it links to mentality. Do you know mentality?
Okay.
Mentality. How you think. So me as a British person who likes to queue, I don't know, yeah. So this would affect other things that I do, yeah. So maybe I don't know how. Peter, what do you say? Does this link to other aspects? Yeah. So if a person likes to queue, what other kind of, how would this influence their life?
Well, it might say something about you're well behaved, generally speaking. Or you learn to be well behaved. No?
Yeah, through school or through parents or whatever. Yeah. So, and that's what it's saying. So therefore you can say you can start off with one stereotype, one idea. Say, okay, British people like to queue. That means they're polite, which means they're going to be like this, they're going to be like this, they're going to be like this. Equally, for example, we said Germans are very good at planning, which means, for example, they can plan for the future, which means they can get more money, which means they can do this, this, this. Yeah, so it's linking the ideas, and this research is talking about how to link these stereotypes with economical performance.
Sir, please.
Yep.
Could you please write the expression stereotypes, because I haven't got the how do we pronounce this expression?
No worries. Stereotype.
Please write it on the chat.
Yep. Can you see? Verbally in chat, or shall I put it? I'll put it on Google Chat as well. Yes, so stereotypes. Stereotypes. Okay. Yeah. So, Mira has joined.
Yes, Martin.
Tell me some stereotypes of Egyptian people, or even the stereotypes that you know of other nationalities, and we'll see if they're true. Yeah. So, okay, let's guys. Do you mind if we say stereotypes about each other's countries? Yeah. Do you mind this, or because then we can see if they're true? Yeah. So, for example, Nanu said one about the UK. Peter said one about the UK. Do you mind if we talk about other countries, or would you prefer not to?
It's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so Mira, what do you think, for example, what's the stereotypes of people from any of our countries you can choose?
She knows that it's close to her.
Okay, so for example, you're not too far from Algeria. Stereotypes about Algerians, Mira.
They're so kind, but tough in some behavior, especially in football.
Nanu, is it true? So Mira said the stereotype...
Let me please hear. Please, could you please raise your voice, because I'm not hearing well. I'm not receiving well the message. Okay.
Okay. So I was just saying, Mira said a stereotype of Algerian people is that they are very kind, very, very generous, but tough at football, tough with football. Okay?
Wallahi ma kimsin.
Is it true, Nanu?
احنا لينا تجربة وحشة في الفوتبول مع بعض.
I just heard kind. Yes, that's true. We are so kind.
Yeah, okay, that's one stereotype. What about football?
But football,
selective
yes.
hearing. Yes, selective hearing.
They are full of football. They like only watching football and following the
We have a bad history with them in football.
Okay, that's right, yeah? So that's where the stereotypes come.
Maybe before 2 or 3 years.
2 or
Do you
3
remember?
years,
Yes.
2 or 3 years ago, Nanu. Do you remember?
Yes.
Okay, so Julio, do you have a stereotype about other nationalities in this group? Yeah. So Julio.
Yes.
Okay, so what are your stereotypes? Yeah. So have you got a stereotype?
Yeah, of course we have, but just a little bit similar with other countries have. The things we are like a little different with others people. Like most of people, we are very kind and friendly for all peoples that we want to make friends whenever. But if some case we might feel uncomfortable based on culture because it's very different with another country's culture. That is the point. I mean,
Okay, so
sometimes it's a little but we are easy to adopt another's culture. That's point.
But it's also, yeah, for example, Peter can joke. I don't know. Peter can joke around about the British. In return, you can joke around. It's okay, for example, if you're joking, yeah. So that happens. But to say, for example, a country's depressive, I think that's a bit too much, yeah. I think that's, yeah, I don't know, yeah. So that was what the article said. Hazel, do you have any stereotypes? And do you think, for example, it's okay sometimes to make them?
Stereotype about my country or other countries?
Or about other countries, you can choose, yeah. So
okay, I'll talk about Bulgarians because Bulgaria is our neighbor in the south, and there are any Bulgarian in the classroom. We all think that Bulgarians are great gardeners. They have excellent cucumbers.
Yeah. Okay, so because they have excellent cucumbers, that means they're good gardeners.
Yes.
So
this is a stereotype in my country anyway. And about British and American, I know a lot, but they
can say no. I'm not going to be the one that's going to be like, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong. Because to be honest, I think we all make stereotypes. Yeah, I think there's something we make. It's just about, of course, we wouldn't say that in an offensive way. Yeah. So joking, yes. So for example, you can joke with me now, and so that's okay. It depends on the context. But Hazel, go for it. Make them.
Yes, but I like British stereotypes.
Just say it. Just say them. Yeah. Don't lead out. It's okay.
Because
what's the funniest one?
I know that like sports. I know that they are very polite. I know that they talk sometimes only about the weather, and they don't talk in a compartment of a train if they don't know each other at all, unless as Latin people who talk eagerly, rapidly with someone we don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. So this is true, yeah. So there's this kind of, so there is a certain element of truth in these. But to conclude, guys, we didn't read much more of this, but read this through. It's interesting, yeah. So about the validity of it. But the bigger question was if this really can influence economical performance, yeah. And that's a really complicated issue. I'm not sure. But Peter, what do you think? Yeah. So do you think yeah, stereotypes really can affect something wider like the economy?
Martin, please
don't think so.
Answer the question of Sam.
Sam, 1 second. Did you write something?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Basically, you all haggle all the time, yeah? So basically, you can't come to a decision, you have to just haggle all the time, yeah? That's a stereotype. It's very, very good at negotiating, things like that. That's what I'd say the main stereotype is. And also, to get a good deal, yeah? So, very, very good. It's difficult, for example, for a British person to negotiate with an Arab, because the Arab is very good at negotiating. Maybe we're too soft and polite, yeah? Something like that. That's what I'd say is the main. But of course, it's not necessarily true for everyone. Yeah, so that's the point we've come up with. But okay, so any last points before we go? Okay, I think I've made you speechless. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But okay, I've got a session straight after. I'm worried now. I've got a session straight after, and hopefully speak to some of you there. Okay, take care.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye,
Thank you. Bye.
Diplomatic market.